Tom Lee just spoke on CNBC about this market rally, on what the Fed just said. I want to play this for you. Keep in mind, Tom Lee has been right on for the last couple of years, and even the last couple of days, right? He's been bullish for years, even when other people were bearish on the market. And recently, he's been taking a huge bet on Ethereum. Even just a few days ago, when we saw a dip, he said, I think we'll bottom around 4,050. And what do you know? He went to about that level. I actually placed a long position on Ethereum around 4,150 just to make sure that I didn't miss the bottom. And yeah, now we're up at 4,800, right? Maybe breaking to new highs by the time you see this. But he put his money where his mouth is, buying hundreds of millions of dollars of that of Ethereum just a few days ago. So congrats to him. Let's see what he has to say about the market right now. Of course, if you do want to start trading, I saw there were some exchanges that went down today, and I'm not pointing fingers at all at any of these exchanges, because this happens all the time. Whenever there's a high amount of volatility, exchanges go down. So if you are only using one exchange, I've said this many times, you are doing it wrong. You should be using multiple exchanges, because a lot of exchanges do go down when the sites get overloaded, right, with network activity. So if you want to start trading, check out the link to BYDeFi underneath the video. If you want a second exchange, check out BYDeFi. You can start trading crypto with crypto using their Coin M feature, so you can trade Bitcoin with Bitcoin as collateral. Right now, we have a prize pool of $20,000. All you have to do is trade on the platform, and you can get access to this prize pool. We constantly give away money through my link. Also, there are other links underneath the video in case you want to try out different platforms like Blowfin, BTCC, Weeks, even BitUnix. I think BitUnix was one of the ones that went down today, but it's a great platform to trade on, and I've never seen it go down before. So use multiple exchanges. But let's get over to what Tom Lee just said about the market. Let me play this for you right here.
Look at the Dow hitting a record high following Fed Chair Jay Powell's remarks this hour, signaling a policy adjustment. Joining us here to unpack what we just heard, Tom Lee, head of research at Fundstrat, chief investment officer of Fundstrat Capital. Good day to be a bull like yourself, Tom.
Yes, it is.
How do you process what we just heard?
Well, I think that it's the Fed acknowledging that the risks now are tilted for the labor market to be softening, and they want to head that off, especially because they don't think that tight labor markets are going to necessarily create inflation. That's a very good sign, and I think it means we have a dovish Fed again, and that's kind of a green light for small caps.
Small caps.
So he just pointed out small caps. The Granny Shot label is coming out with two new ETFs I saw. So they're doing a small cap and like a large cap income ETF too. So Granny Shots is his ETF. So talking about a bit of his book here, but that's great timing, because in a lower rate environment, small caps and mid caps should do better than they would in a high rate environment.
They are working. Last I looked, small caps were up 3%. So is this what we need to really confirm the sort of broadening that comes and goes in the market?
Yeah, because I think that one of the things we should watch for is what happens to mortgage rates. But mortgage spreads are right now 360 basis points higher than the 10-year. Historically, it's 1.6 percentage points. So you could see a huge drop in mortgage rates. That's going to help housing, helps the financial small caps. And I think already the ISM, which has been below 50 for almost 30 months now, could finally go back above 50, and that's a good sign for industrials.
Although we had a discussion right on the heels of the speech about a little steepening in the curve. Is there a sense that the vigilantes are at least present, if not being necessarily vocal?
But we could also be steepening because growth expectations are improving as well. So this could be like what I'd call a bull steepening. I'm not really sure what the fixed income terms are, but I think it's actually a positive sign for growth.
The only real losers today are going to be some of the yielders and some staples. Would you be cautious on those?
That's right. I think that markets have been holding their breath. They've been getting defensive. That's why we've been bleeding for 5 days. And so now I think there's a relief and some capital gets put to work, and it's good for equities and risk assets.
So
keep in mind there's record amounts of money on the sidelines right now.
All right, we need to make some news here, Tom. Everyone listens to you. We're at record highs now for the S&P and the Dow. How much more can these stocks rally?
I think there's a lot of upside. Especially because, once you get an ISM back above 50, it really does argue for a broadening of markets. And I think one of the leaders probably comes from the financial sector. So I think, towards the end of the year, 6,800, 7,000 is possible.
Led by tech still?
Yeah, so I think you still want to play
this week.
Yeah, you want to be long AI and the crypto trade because those have been the market leaders. So the Mag 7, Bitcoin, Ethereum. But the broadening is really the financials, industrials, and small caps.
So you like them all?
Yeah, it's kind of cyclicals, AI and crypto, but not the defensives.
Your crypto calls have been getting a lot of attention lately, especially on Ether.
Yes.
Where we were talking earlier, we were debating whether it's the future of the financial system. A lot of people are thinking, people like you have said that.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a really important moment happening this year with, the Genius Act, really greenlighting stable coins, and then Project Crypto, which is Wall Street moving on to the blockchain. I think it's a lot like 1971 when the US dollar went off the gold standard. That created the innovation of Wall Street because they had to sort of essentially create this synthetic dollar. Wall Street moving on to the blockchain is a bigger moment, and I think that's why Ethereum is essentially having its 1971 moment equivalent.
But a lot of people just see it as wild speculation and froth.
I'd say anytime something goes up, people tend to call it froth. I think they called AI a frothy trade now, but we know it has a lot of legs and it's been taking place for a couple years. Keep in mind, Ethereum is also the place where when agentic AI comes together, when you have robots and you want proof of human, you want to make sure those commands come from, a verified source. That's all taking place on a smart contract. A lot of it will be Ethereum.
Tom, thank you. We just scratched the surface on that one, but we'll have you back very soon, no doubt.
Okay, so obviously Tom Lee very bullish on Ethereum. He calls out that the S&P 500 could go to maybe 7,000 or so. It's at just under 6,500 now. So maybe he's talking about like a 7-8% move for the rest of the year. Very bullish on Ethereum as well, saying that agentic AI will kind of push Ethereum forward, like that's maybe the next decade trade. But then short term, stable coins and more regulation will help Ethereum. Obviously, Ethereum is very close to all-time highs right now. Again, maybe by the time you're watching this, it's hit new all-time highs. It seems to me like people that have been in crypto for a long time lost maybe some of their excitement for Ethereum because there are chains that are much quicker, much less expensive to use. And anyone that's been in crypto for a while realizes that Ethereum is very clunky, but yet the majority of innovation still happens on Ethereum, or the majority of activity still happens on Ethereum. And some of these Wall Street firms want a larger asset that's been around for a longer period of time. So that's one of the reasons I think Ethereum is seeing its time in the light right now. And part of it could be that there's more regulation on it, or more certainty on regulation around Ethereum right now. But yeah, Tom Lee likes it. It's moving up to all-time highs. I would not bet against this, which there are a lot of people shorting this right now. I am long Ethereum, long Solana, long Bitcoin. If you want to trade, by the way, there is that link underneath the video to BY DeFi. Thank you so much. Let me know what you think about Tom Lee's comments down below. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.